Good evening, soccer fans. USL2 action here at Augsburg University, Edor Nelson Field. I'm John Bisworm. That is the Dan Hoodman. Tonight is the night. We are not just wrapping up the regular season here at Edor Nelson Field. This is truly a winner-take-all showdown for the Heartland Division Conference. Minneapolis City faces Sueno FC in a match with everything on the line. The math is simple. City needs a win by at least 2 goals to leapfrog Sueno and claim the division crown.
And what a moment for this club in Minnesota soccer. So regardless of tonight's outcome, Minneapolis City has already made history. The Crows have clinched their first ever USL League Two playoff berth. And by that, John, become the first Minnesota-based USL League Two club to reach the postseason. It's the first for City since joining the league. It's the first for any Minnesota club since the league became USL League Two. It's a testament, really, to the hard work of the players, coaches, and everyone behind the scenes.
Well, let's be honest. How many Minnesota teams in the PDL made it to the playoffs?
Yeah, that's fair.
Could be the first one ever. But you're totally right, Dan. A playoff spot is secured. Check that box. But the hunger for silverware is real here for Minneapolis City. The Crows have their eyes set on the division title and the home crowd behind them, which is always a plus here at Edor Nelson Field. They'll for sure be pushing for that 2-goal margin. Expect a lot of high stakes today. 2 awesome teams, clearly top of the class in the Heartland Division, in a very, I would say, probably an attacking game, considering that if Minneapolis City does start to put goals on the scoreboard, you'd have to believe Sueno is not going to put a low block in because they need the points. Yeah, they need it too.
All right, well, let's swing and talk about the player to watch. So sponsored by tonight's Youth Club of the Game, Mineapolis Soccer Club, Minneapolis City is always proud to support local soccer and give back to the community. So thank you to all the players and families from Mineapolis for being part of our match day. Anyway, player to watch, John, big Curtis Wagner.
Yep, so Curtis is a proven college talent. He's now in his 3rd season with Minneapolis City. He's entering his last season at Loyola Maryland. I believe he probably has a COVID year in there somewhere, so he might have another year. But for sure, 4 years on the books at Loyola Maryland. We're much like he is here with the Crows, increasing his playing time as he's been here. And for the Greyhounds of Loyola Maryland, like, he's really been building blocks on top of building blocks in order to get more minutes and become a real defensive stalwart for the Greyhounds.
And then, you can't talk about Curtis Wagner without talking about a physical presence.
Yes, absolutely. So he's standing 6'3", 200 pounds. That's a big dude. Wagner brings imposing size and strength. Clearly we covered that to the back line. And physically it makes him a force on aerial threats. He takes left-footed corner kicks on set pieces. You can find him as well. And he's also the long throw specialist. I know you love the
I love a long throw.
That adds another dimension to his game for the City attack.
And then he's a big energy guy.
Yeah, I mean, he sets the tone in the back line. He's vocal, whether you like what he says or you don't. He's gonna be moving his mouth, which is kind of infectious from an enthusiasm perspective. So if you're another defender and he throws a tackle in and lets the forward know, maybe the next time you're by that guy, you're letting him know that probably hurt.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's talk about the keys to victory, John. Sponsored, as always, by our longtime sports medicine partner, Twin Cities Orthopedics.
So Minneapolis City has to start fast and keep the pressure on. Sueno has made a habit of coming from behind this season. 6 of their wins this season have been by 2 goals or less, and City needs to strike early and maintain a relentless pressure, in my opinion. They have a deeper bench today and make it difficult for Sueno to even have to try to claw their way back in.
And I mean, obviously, to do that, we need to see a different type of City in front of goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's no surprise. We've talked about it at many of the home games, but if you're watching the City away games, Minneapolis City creates high volume of scoring chances, but hasn't always converted on the majority of them this season. On the inverse of what we talked about with Sueno, 6 of the Minneapolis City games were decided by 2 goals or less in their winning margins. So it's kind of an interesting juxtaposition here between the 2 teams. So securing that margin needed tonight, those 2 goals, it's a must-have, Dan, for opportunities. They have to go in the back of the net.
In games like this, big games, you can get a little bit of flustered.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to control the tempo and stay composed. City thrives on high possession soccer, but knowing when to increase the tempo or to slow things down to protect the lead will be crucial tonight. And then also staying composed means eliminating turnovers in dangerous areas. We talked about like the solid midfield 3 for Minneapolis City over and over again, but we've seen over the past couple games where there's been some stray turnovers, some errant passes in the middle that have turned into dangerous chances. So as far as that goes, folks, The players are walking out here. We got one more message. We're going to take a quick break, get to the starting lineups. This is a copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League, and it cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League. Nailed it. Once again, I'm John Bisworm. That's the Dan Hudeman. Stay with us. We'll be back with you in a few moments for the starting lineups. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. John Bisworm here with the Dan Hudeman. Edor Nelson Field on the campus of Augsburg University for the conclusion of the USL League 2 regular season for both Sueno FC and your home side, Minneapolis City. Let's talk about starting lineups. Dan, why don't you give us the visitors?
And as always, John, these are sponsored by Shell's Brewing Company, brewers of Shells and Grain Belt Beer, a Minneapolis classic. But let's look at Sueno. We've got number 1, Alejandro Ortiz between the sticks. And then we're going to have number 2, Sho Haggerty. He'll be on the flanks with number 3, Nolan Kinsella. Number 4, Andrew Brown. Number 5, Daniel Furs will be at the back with them. We've got number 6, Andrew Chavez. Number 8, Charlie Norkit. Number 10, Eliam Meyer in the midfield. Up top, Michael Neshi is number 9. Number 7, Easton Bogard. And number 11, my favorite, and I'm sure yours, Jack McFeely.
And for your home side, in goal, number 1, Daniel Sessler. Across the back line, 24, Nick Kett. 22, Jared Heck. And number 20, player to watch, Curtis Wagner. In the midfield, you have number 2, Jake Swallen. You have a middle 4 of number 11, Bernardo Sibi-Rule. 10, Jackson Kirsch. 14, Morgan Olson. And number 19, Mizael Harris. And up top, you have number 17, Shea Bechtel. And number 42, Julian Banks. Air quality today, Dan, not the best coming down from the Canadian wildfires. Before I moved to Minnesota, I had no idea what the heck that was.
Heck, before 2 years ago, John, I had no idea what the heck that was.
But we do have a slight haze here. I would assume we're going to have some sort of stoppage, hydration break, air quality break, I guess you could call it.
We'll have to see what the referee decides. We have been keeping a close eye on this with the United Soccer League, as has Minnesota Aurora playing across town in the W League and Minnesota United in MLS. Everyone's playing, but it is pretty hazy.
Well, as Fish wraps up the national anthem, I mean, the great part about this game, Dan, like win, lose, or draw, both of these teams are in. Yes, you want to be on a winning side for Minneapolis City getting those 2 goals. For Sueno, any result will do for them. But having the atmosphere back at Edor Nelson Field in the USL 2 specifically, where something's on the line, feels really, really good. Absolutely.
It does feel like the Crows are back, relevant, and very much like those seasons in the NPSL, qualifying for playoffs early, really putting in great work. Not that there's nothing on the line tonight. So Minneapolis City has to win by 2 goals or more to win the division title. If they do anything besides that, anything less than 2 goals or more, it is the visitors, Sueno from Chicago, who take the league title. Obviously, silverware really matters. It matters for players. It matters for fans. And, of course, there's going to be playoff seeding. The playoff brackets have not been released yet from the league. Not everyone is qualified yet. It's a big night in USL 2. But the Crows
like 16 spots are being decided today, or yesterday and today, or tomorrow and today, something like that.
Oh, it's huge. That's why I love soccer at this level. It's compact. It's meaningful. It reminds me a lot of college football.
Yeah, absolutely.
But nonetheless, there's going to be a pod in Flint, Michigan, and a pod in Des Moines, Iowa. Presumably the Crows will go to Des Moines, but we won't know until later tonight.
What was it again? It was Des Moines and what?
And Flint. Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
So Flint City Bucks are going to be hosting one group, and Des Moines Menace hosting another.
All right, we're moments away here. The teams have entered the field. Referees is doing their last-minute checks and gathering positions. But I'm excited about this one, Dan. Regardless of what's on the line here, I was down in Chicago for the first matchup where Sueno pulled off a narrow 3-2 victory over the Crows, and then the bus broke down, so that totally sucked. Didn't get home until 7 a.m. That was also super awesome. But like the quality of player that Sueno has on their roster is really fun to watch.
Oh yeah, a lot of Big Ten talent. So you'll see guys who play at Indiana, at Michigan State. You also see Wisconsin. You also see some Loyola Chicago and some others. Big time players playing at big time programs.
Yeah, and they do have a shorter bench today. There's some unfamiliar names from the first matchup. Have to believe that it's the same thing that's happened in Minneapolis City. You're not seeing a Joe Highfield today. You're not seeing an Andrew Heckenleibel and Ian Shaw. They checked back into their college programs to begin their preseasons, and that happens across this league. So deep benches are important, and I have to believe that if you're talking about a deep bench, Minneapolis City has the favor in that.
I think you're right, certainly today, as they kick off and Sueno on the attack. But, John, you're right, and that becomes interesting when you get into the playoffs. A number of teams will bring a guy specifically for the playoffs. Not City, of course, who have a different kind of recruiting philosophy. Step ball goes wide to McFeely. Flicks that up in the air. CB Rules able to clear.
It's a good clearance.
Julian Banks is able to control the ball. His pocket is picked by Meyer.
I don't think anyone really gave him the shout that he might have had a guy on his back.
Can't challenge by Neshi. Has to send this ball out. And, John, you're right. This has been just a minute, but the first minute's been hotly contested.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you'd expect with the table toppers. Got a fire truck across the freeway here. Hope everyone's okay.
There's a lot going on in the Twin Cities tonight beyond just the fire truck. Minnesota United are at home. The Minnesota Twins are at home. The St. Paul Saints are at home, and Minnesota Aurora are at home.
Yeah, stuff's happening. The USA Cup's happening up in Blaine.
And we got a fire truck across the way. Goes wide to Haggerty. Back to Meyer. Andrew Brown driving ball. Just gets past Swallen. Hecht is there.
Oh, that one almost snuck through to Bechtel.
And we talk about it a lot, but on a pitch this size, it's one of the narrower pitches here in the Heartland Division. With players this athletic, very quickly you're closed down, and any sort of slip, the ball skips past you, can be in real trouble. So really, perfection in a lot of ways is demanded. We've seen a lot of goals that, I don't know, on a bigger pitch or on a slower pitch, to me, they're not that dangerous in the end.
We also talk about, too, that opposing teams realize real quick that those through balls go.
Good battle. CB Rule on Nessie.
Those through balls creep up on the yellow lines pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Sueno, you've been bright on the front foot the first few minutes. Balls to Meyer.
Good step by Swallen.
Swallen had to be there after Morgan intercepted but couldn't retain. Meyer again on the ball. Neshi, and then Kirsch is away. He slows up, but he's got a lot to do.
It's been a lot on that right side for City to start off here. Mizel Harris, if they can get that switch, he's right in front of us. He's got 45 yards until the next closest man.
Nice ball from Kent. Bechtel can't quite get around Furs there. Runs all the way to Ortiz. Long ball, but Hecht is there. Man, he can jump.
Never jump that high when you're 8 feet tall.
So I'm looking for Harris that time, but plays it behind him. City perhaps a little looser in the start than they would have liked to be.
Offside.
Yeah, we had Bogart offside.
And he came from offside.
Sueno with the ability to keep the ball still, particularly from those fullbacks, has been looking for a really direct and angled ball at that City back line. Did you see that, John, when we were in Chicago?
This is the exact carbon copy of what happened in that game. Sueno came out on the front foot. Minneapolis City calmed that down by getting multiple chances.
Harris is looking for Olsen.
Like multiple early chances, and then Sueno did capitalize first, but City was able to respond right away. It was really just a back and forth, and it was who was going to make the first misstep, and it just so happened to be Minneapolis City.
Here we got Curtis Wagner, the player to watch on the ball with the throw in. Looking long for Morgan Olsen, falls to him. Ooh, touch just got away from him. Sibe Rule does a nice job getting back on the attack. Can't find Harris.
Oh, good find.
Here comes Bogart. Bogart finds the referee,
Well,
but
that was lucky
Sueno retained.
I'm surprised the referee didn't stop that for a drop ball.
Oh, and that's unfortunate for Wagner.
It's that quick turf.
Yeah, whew, he was beat by McFeely there, but McFeely can't quite get the cross in.
Does the referee not have to stop it when it touches him? I thought that was the rule.
It felt like to me he was playing the equivalent of advantage there because the ball did land right to Sueno, right to a midfielder pointed forward.
I mean, it was a great first touch by the ref.
Here comes Nick Kent. Looking for Banks. Banks' layoff just finds Sueno. Big pressure from City.
Really good pressure.
Forcing Ortiz to clear out of bounds.
Really, really good job there.
See a lot of Shea Bechtel's energy, John, is just his kind of engine.
Right there.
It looks like he's flagged for coming back from offside.
I agree on that. Stand's starting to fill up a little bit here, Dan.
Well, they definitely are, and particularly given just how much is going on in the cities today, it's pretty great. However, I want to just recognize we've got city legend, former goalkeeper from the NPSL days, Matt Elder, with his two kids right next to another city legend, Aaron Olsen, the all-time leader in appearances, who, John, you're going to love this. He's wearing one of his own jerseys from the 2016 season. That's legend stuff.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, he probably autographed it too. He's going to auction it off his back after this game. It's great to get the alumni back out. It's something that we have an advantage over most teams at the USL level.
Looking for Bechtel, but he can only find Norkett, and it's back to the Sueno defense to recycle. I mean, those two guys, they played in a lot of meaningful games for the Crows. As Bogart works on Hecht, he's got a little bit of time now. Meyer, nice dummy. That finds Haggerty. Really good interplay from Sueno. It's back to Haggerty. Wagner sees that out.
You can see the quality, Dan, that I talked about. Like every player on the ball for Sueno, regardless if it was someone who we saw the last time or a new face this time, like really, really good quality stuff.
Morgan Olsen Had 3 guys coming to him, but he was able to play that back to Hecht. Wagner stuffed. City's struggling to get out of their half. And we've got a little bit of a slip there from Chavez. I've done that here at Edor Nelson Field. That is uncomfortable. Kirsch battling Chavez. Finds Swollen. City have a minute. Julian Banks on the ball. Really, the Crows are going to have to get Banks involved in the same way they would have a Joe Highfield or Preston Kipnusu.
Checking back into those spaces.
Long from Hecht, looking for Harris. A little bit too direct, and that's going to roll back to Ortiz.
I mean, the idea was 100% correct there for Hecht. Looks like Haggerty is kind of playing a little bit higher than staying connected to his back line, and there is an opportunity to find Harris.
I didn't see a lot there, but the referee calls for a foul on McNeely. This will be a Sueno free kick. That should be a great place for a long throw, though. Speaking of, every place is a good spot for a long throw.
So definitely catch the opponent off guard. Oh, nice move.
That was a really nice turn from Norkett. Plays the ball in. Bogard, he's able to turn. He's on his right. He's back on his left. Shoots! And that's a Sueno goal. Here we are in the 11th minute. Chicago Sueno 1, Minneapolis City 0. Nice goal there from Easton Bogard. You got to say, unfortunately, that one was coming if you're City. Now you got 3 goals to score.
I think it was a deflection.
It seemed that Sessler was rooted to the spot. That was the first shot of the game.
100% shooting percentage. Let's see if it gets deflected here. Yeah, it did.
Explains Sessler not moving there.
Watch off Big Cat.
Nice work from Bogard, really, just twisting and turning right at the top of the box. Big tackle on Olsen. Sueno on the attack again.
Oh, good idea from Swollen.
Played out by Brown, looking for Kinsella.
The difference that I'm seeing is that Minneapolis City is applying a lot of pressure, and they are creating the turnovers. But Sueños, just when they get the ball, they're higher up the field. They're really good at keeping it.
I mean, we just saw that there with Bechtel looking to chest that ball off, but Olsen was just a little bit too far from him. Wagner in with a big tackle. Sets away Miss Harris. Harris driving forward. First is able to get that out for a throw-in, but what a tackle. Sometimes that's something that you need just to show, hey boys, let's do this.
I'm Big Kurt, nice to meet you.
And got a long throw opportunity, my favorite.
I mean, he's only a corner kick taken away from the gentleman's hat trick here. Big tackle, long throw, and a corner kick. Be nice to get an equalizer here.
Goes to Kirsch. Kirsch lines up, shot blocked. Wagner's cross in low, they cross it back down!
Oh, Bechtel!
That is a 14th minute goal. Shea Bechtel, that levels the score. Lovely ball from Wagner, John. Bechtel made no mistake. It's his second headed goal this season.
I mean, for being the shortest guy on the pitch, not a bad stat. Just a delicious ball in. I mean, I feel as if, there's Hecht and Banks. It was almost Minneapolis City fighting over which one was going to score this goal.
And credit to Bechtel for that placement, because Ortiz, he was springing to the corner. Anything but perfect placement, and that was going to be saved. Harris looking for Wagner, or for Olsen.
Is that
Olsen working on Furs. Nice move from Harris. Harris is pushed down by Haggerty.
I think that's good defense. All right, well, 15th minute, 2 shots, 2 goals. Okay.
Yeah, you said these are good teams.
Yeah.
If this is your first time watching soccer, it's totally like this.
Yes, yes. If this is football, it'd be 7-7. Or potentially 6-7. I think they would have missed their extra point.
They definitely would have. 10 steps forward. Sueno are there in the middle. Bechtel applying pressure to Ortiz. Ortiz able to get the ball wide. But Meyer, tough touch there.
When Minneapolis City's put pressure on Sueno in the back, they have gifted it back to the Crows.
Looks like we've got a flat ball here at Edor Nelson Field.
I don't know why he decided to throw it down the tunnel.
Yeah, just kick that on 94.
Can't put air in it when it's in an office space. Let's bring Harris here.
Chavez came in, but that's another City throw. Wagner looking for Bechtel. Ms. Harris is able to get in. Oh, what a tackle, but Bechtel!
Handball!
They are asking for a handball, that's a City goal!
There we go! Harris stays with it. And in the 16th minute, Ms. Harris just wills Minneapolis City. 2 shots, 2 goals.
That's not the prettiest goal, but John, you're right. It was the will and the battling from Bechtel and Harris. They just wouldn't quit. Nice stuff from Bechtel there. Just really great play to get that past Haggerty and then across the face of the goal.
Well, I have to say it. You know, you hate to be the team that needs to be punched in the face first to wake up, but that's what happened to City. Ever since that goal, the press has been had a little bit more in it. The direct play has been a little bit, more to feet. Like, it's just been what we wanted to start without giving up that early goal.
No, absolutely, John. I'd love to give a shout out to another legend in the stand today. See Abdallah Ba walking up. Ba, if you remember, was the scorer of just an absolute golazo back in 2018 against Duluth in a game that the Crows won 4-2 to win their first MPSL North Conference title. And there he is, chilling with some of his teammates.
See an Artie Parent sighting down there.
Now it's great when the legends come out.
They all have kids now. Makes me feel really old.
I mean, not that old. They have kids too.
I know, but they have kids.
Banks looks to flick on, but it's only as far as Brown, who sends it high and forward. Wagner has to do something. Ends up falling to Bogart. Bogart goes.
It's offside.
Referee keeps his flag down. Again, Kent trying to head it away, but that's going to be a Sueno throw-in. I mean, we talked about it earlier. That it's the pitch size sometimes. When you've got fans who want it the way that they, or players that want it the way that they do, in front of the fans, giving them that energy, it can get a little bit ragged. And
yeah.
it's been ragged for the last 5 or 6 minutes. This is surely a long throw opportunity. Don't like it as much when the other team's doing it. That ball's bouncing through Wagner heads. Back in the mix. Shot. Susser saves.
I mean, technically it wasn't that long of a throw, but it was longer than usual.
It did just enough to get in the mix. Morgan Olsen, he's out wide to a Seabay Rule. This game is wide open, John.
What a touch.
Kirsch Lovely win.
Oh.
Oh, beautiful stuff there from Swollen. Swollen's looking for Harris. Harris has one man to beat.
Banks was making a really good run there. He was also clearing out space that I think either Olsen or Bechtel could have easily been slotted into.
And credit to Haggerty there, the Sueno defender. Stay cool, got the boot in, stop that attack. Harris, nice touch pass. Chavez, he's driving forward. Shot!
Oh,
what a save!
Ortiz, wow.
Full stretch.
This Harris came to play today, Dan.
That was arrowing into the bottom corner there. All credit to Ortiz.
And they're calling that a no touch?
Oh man, if I'm Ortiz, I'm arguing I need to get credit for the save since I touch it with both of my hands.
Yeah, he definitely. His top hand
And changed the direction of the ball.
Yeah.
Well,
I think the lines person was in a position to call that. He was about 10 yards behind the play.
I mean, it happened fast with Harris driving forward. And here's Harris on the ball again. Cuts inside, he finds Kirsch overlapping. Bechtel's working on Haggerty. Drives in, he's in the box, he cuts back.
Nice work by Bechtel.
Norkett there to clear it out for a Minneapolis City corner.
This has been the most excitement we've had all season in 20 minutes, Dan.
Man, I feel like this whole day has happened.
Kirsch on the ball.
Kirsch is on the ball. Delivers this long to Kent. Kent heads into Kinsella. That'll be another City corner. Sueno much better matched up to the City height than perhaps some of the other teams that come here to Edor Nelson Field.
Yeah, we're still missing some really big height. You have Preston Kipnusu on the bench, still coming back from an injury he picked up to the middle half of the season. You're missing Highfield. Heckenleibel's big as well. But there's still a lot of big players in there.
Comes Kirsch delivering again. Just over Hecht, and that's headed away. Olsen finds Swollen. Sueno out so quick to press.
Have one.
Swollen looks for a Sibe Rule, almost played that one in. Nice vision there. Harris looking over the top for Banks. Headed away, but just as far as Bechtel finds a Sibe Rule. Olsen, we got Kirsch sliding out wide. He'll deliver his cross. Claimed by Ortiz. He had to, he had Harris behind him.
No disrespect to Mizel Harris and Shea Bechtel. You probably want someone a little bit taller on the end of that one.
Well, Shea Bechtel would say his goal would disagree with you.
Just going to keep saying negative things until he heads another one in.
Bogart tangling with Kirsch. Swollen chops it high. It was nice work from Furs in front of Bechtel. Sueno, John, I gotta be honest, with the quality they have, I'd love to see them get it on the deck. They've been doing a lot. Whoa! Norkett coming way over the top of Kirsch there. He's pleading his case. I'm not sure he has much of one. No intent, but you can't do that.
I have to say, after that second goal, Sueno looks a little rattled down.
Well, that's what I'd say. Given their quality, I'd take a minute on the ball instead of just kicking it long every time. That was nice work for Haggerty. He's going to win a throw-in off of Harris. Ball kick gets a nice touch there.
Yeah, let's stick that foot, dude.
Banks. Nice header for Olsen. Olsen over the top. Bechtel needs to get on his course. He's got First trying to track him down. Does a nice job of keeping the ball. Finds Banks. Banks hacked down by Meyer. Banks did a nice job of getting his body well positioned.
And not to bring Harris down, too.
About 31 yards out, we've got Jake Swallen and Jackson Kirsch standing over the ball.
I'm Swallen understand this. Look at that left post.
Swallen fires. Oh, he got the swerve, but
The Sueno camera guy, you better look out, buddy. He's looking at his camera. Watch. Oh, heads up. Look out, bro. Oh.
almost got him.
Stand behind the net. That one just caught the wrong side of Swallen's foot. He's shaking his head right now.
I mean, worth a pop from 31. We've seen Swallen score from there actually just a couple games ago right here.
Yeah. Other side.
Other side. So he still do is what you're saying. Morgan Olsen, big header. Swallen looking for a Seabay rule. Ends up falling to Banks. Seabay rule driving on Kinsella. His cross! Oh! Bechtel lurking.
What a great
Lovely ball. And credit to Haggerty. Haggerty had to do something. Harris was behind him.
There's a little girl wearing a cat mask and a cape. I love it.
I'm 100% here for that.
Team Wrench is here. Yeah. Everybody's here.
Kirsch over the ball. Delivers. It's going deep. Nick Kent back over. Ooh, lovely head away for the Sueno defense. It's back in. A Seabay rule on it. And he heads just wide. That was good stuff. It looked like Furr's in there. He had to get on that ball. That came across from Kent.
A lot of shirt pulling going on there, too. I like how the ref let it go. Like, both guys were all over each other.
When this game's over, Jared Heck's going to have a shirt that's going to fit 3 of them.
3 Jared Hecks.
3 Jared Hecks.
You mean Shaquille O'Neal?
Bogard working on Hecht. Chavez. Big tackle by Wagner, but one back. We've got Haggerty driving forward. Swallen has something to say, but it falls to Bogard. Bogard just throws himself into Jared Hecht, who telling him what he thinks about that. Long, but Furs is there. He's been excellent in the air today, and he's had to be. Norkett wide to Kinsella. So my dad used to tell me about old heavyweight fights. It was just 2 guys going blow for blow, and I think that's what we're seeing today.
Yeah, I mean, it started out with Sueno all over Minneapolis City. I think getting a little bit lucky on a deflection that went past Sessler, but since then, it's been kind of one-way traffic for Minneapolis City.
Well, the danger definitely is coming from both directions. Swallen in there. He stops Neshi, but Neshi gets the ball back again. And that's a Sueno throw.
The linesman saw that one and then just agreed with the ref. I think he had the flag in the other hand. It's okay to overrule the guy in the middle every now and then.
Swallen gets in. We learned that kick from Bruce Lee. Swallen's got Norkett, who's in front of him. Norkett is a tall man. Another long throw. Wagner heads not super far away. That's back in. Bogard off of Sessler, and Wagner hacks it away. Good save from
Bogard's dangerous in tight spaces. He's really, really dangerous.
You know, he's had excellent movement all game long. Just working across that back 3 of the Crows. Sessler's smart to come out the way he did, stay big.
I mean, he kind of had to, or the goal's wide open. Sure, this This guy's hearing it from the citizens right now. Apparently you're not allowed to walk the ball 6 yards further than where the ball went out of bounds. New to me.
I've heard that's in the rule book.
New to me.
It's big again. Swollen heads away, but only as far as Brown. Brown shoots, and that's going to go to Midtown. With a stop at Murphy Square Park, John, that's Minneapolis' oldest, first ever park. Little trivia. Thank you, Andrew Brown, for allowing us to recognize the United States' largest. Oh, he was angry that I was talking about it, but it is the largest park system in the United States as he takes out a CBA rule. And here we are in the 30th minute, and he's going to get the first yellow card of the game.
I'm okay with that yellow card. I think that a CB rule, if we look back at the replay, if we can get one, it did look like a CB rule had the step, and it wasn't anything of malice intent, but he did get a CB rule's legs with a half step.
And I'm not sure you want a CB rule to get past you, particularly given
right
who you've got attacking.
Lions guy was all over the fact that it was a throw-in.
Kirsch on the ball.
Maybe I'd look to find Swollen's feet here.
He delivers. It's long. Nick Kent is there, but just sends it out there for a goal kick.
31 minutes in. Minneapolis City 2, Sueno 1. As we were talking about on the onset, Minneapolis City needs 2 goals. Plus 2 goal margin on the day in order to see the title go to their trophy cabinet. And you'd have to say, Dan, like, some questions were being asked in the first 10 to 15 minutes, but ever since that first goal for Sueno went in, you mentioned it, it's been kind of all crow.
Well, you said it. Sometimes a team needs to get punched in the face, and it seems like that's what cities need. An early goal from Sueno, and Sueno 100% on the front foot, really dominated the early stages. And since then, they've just been blown away by a really relentless City attack. However, we have seen them remain very dangerous on the counter. Mm-hmm. Easton Bogard up top with Michael Neshy and Jack McFeely on the side of him, really, really challenging both the back three and those wingers coming back. It's going to be really interesting. We've got 60 minutes left. Crows need one more goal. Sueno just needs it to stay here, although, you know, both sides are going to be looking for some insurance. I don't know that we're going to see much defense until we've got another goal or two in this game.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Sueno is going to try to get out of this air quality break, or whatever you want to call it, into the half. Clearly not wanting to give up another one, but I would have to believe that they're going to stay a little bit more defensive to get into that second half.
John, one of the things we've seen with Sueno is, particularly after that first City goal, is they've really reverted to more direct and more quickly direct balls. Sometimes, you know, not trying to be unkind, sometimes a little aimless, when they've got the quality to keep the ball on the deck. So if you're the Sueno coach, talk to me about this. Like, what are you seeing right now here at this water break?
Oh, little kids climbing the wall.
Oh, big cheer.
Sorry,
little bro.
Sorry, I'm not able to answer your question, Dan. I think it's just keep the ball. I mean, you talk about like the somewhat potentially, you know, in air quotes, aimless balls over the top. I mean, it's out of necessity right now because of the press that Minneapolis City is putting on. But they have shown that with Norkit and Chavez, they can find those windows in the midfield and then spring whether it's Nessie or McFeely or even Bogard, they can find them. It's just a matter of, can they do it a half step quicker because the pressure's coming.
Yeah.
But getting back to that is, I think, paramount for them in the next 10 minutes.
Kirsch, a little shove on Chavez, and that's going to be a Sueno free kick. Okay, let's take a second here to give a shout out to our new sponsor, Co-Create. You want to be a better leader?
I do.
Stop reading self-help books on the toilet and start actually doing something. Co-Create offers personalized coaching that'll get you thinking smarter, leading stronger, and feeling less like an imposter. Check out Co-Create today at growwithcocreate.com. Olsen shoved down in the end there by Chavez, who in the end wasn't happy with it. You know, I'd have to say so far the consistency of this referee and what's allowed and isn't allowed has been great for the players. You know what you're going to get, you know what you're not going to get, and this is just two good teams kind of going at it. It's been among the more fun games we've been able to watch this season, John.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wagner too wide for Harris, who's saying he wanted that to go along.
I hate to say, like, just put your foot through it, but the CB rule was 1v1 matched up with the outside defender, all on an island there that Wagner could have easily found him.
Banks and Meyer. Meyer ends up giving it away to Bechtel. Bechtel has options. He's going to look wide to Banks. Banks outside the 18, drives in. And he's taken down in the penalty. Referee says no. I can't believe it. He was through on goal.
Great
His
first
back
touch
foot was taken off.
Great first touch by Banks, though, to split the two defenders. I think it's a penalty.
Yeah, incredible work from Banks there. That happened quick. The referee was trailing the play, but as we look at this on replay, nowhere near the ball. Nowhere near the ball from Furs, who just takes him out. An absolute penalty. Asibe Rule flips over, and that's why, but he's taken out by Ortiz. The referee calling nothing again. It's open season on City attackers somehow.
Yeah, that's...
The City coaches are irate, and rightly so. That's two incredibly heavy tackles in the box.
The referee's right there. Like, I mean, I don't want to criticize officials, but he's been right there for both of these.
I mean, get one of them right.
Yeah. Now you're showing that there's wiggle room and intent with your challenges.
Well, in a game like that, that's where things start to get a little bit out of control.
And that gets called.
He's going to go to City coach Justin Oliver with a yellow card. John, I got to be honest, I'd probably have given it.
He's given him a yellow card. I think he's just telling him to relax.
He has it out.
Tudor, all right. Associate head coach Tudor Flintham is the one who takes the slice of cheese.
I may have given it to Daniel Furs for the foul in the box, or maybe Alejandro Ortiz for the other foul in the box myself, but I'm not the referee. And probably a good thing, John, because it's more fun up here.
A lot more fun.
Girls are going to feel aggrieved, really, over those two. Still histrionics on the bench, but they're doing all the right things.
Yeah, I mean, shoring up the next 8 minutes is going to be number one job, but still, I mean, within doing that, we still can attack. Good win by Banks.
Thanks to Kirsch. Kirsch over the top to Harris. Harris has Bechtel in the box. He's got Banks coming to him on the right.
Oh!
Furs comes in hard and shoves him over.
Didn't even play the ball. Watch this replay.
Just he got the ball as it looks like he almost headbutted Ms. Harris.
All right, complaining over. Should have been 3 penalty opportunities here, but
there's a lot happening. Nice ball. Looked like a handball. Looked like it could have been an own goal.
Own goal! There we go.
There we go.
What do you want to give that? We'll give that to Kirsch.
Let's look at that on a replay. There's a red. No, he's just got his pocket out. It's just facing towards me. John, what'd you see there?
Curtis Wagner celebrating. I mean, honestly, I'm not 100% sure what I saw there.
There's a lot happening.
Yeah, a lot happened there. Ball went in the back of the net. Minneapolis City 3, Sueno 1 in the 39th minute. We're going to give that to Jackson Kirsch.
Yeah, we'll see what the official says in the end on that one. Also looking for Banks. Banks keeps it in. Oh, finds Harris. Lovely stuff. Harris driving in. Bechtel in the box. He cuts in on his left. Shoots.
Goal!
City goal!
There we go!
Shea Bechtel, 40th minute. Minneapolis City 4, Sueno 1. What a ball.
And the boys are flying right now, Dan.
The ball from Banks to Harris. The ball from Harris to Bechtel. Bechtel's working the box.
The patience of Shea Bechtel right here as you watch the replay. I mean, he had maybe 2 bites at the apple he could have taken. Completely freezes everyone.
What a half.
Yeah. We need to play in smoke advisories more often, Dan.
That's Bechtel's second so far today. So far here in the first half. As Sueno restarts. Andrew Brown on the ball. It's a different game now for Sueno. Ball goes long. Bechtel does get flagged. That one was right. Both he and Furs were looking at the linesman and knowing that was going to happen.
If it were me, I wouldn't have exerted my energy running it down.
Bogart, good turn on Hex. He's going to drive forward. Haggerty switch sides. He's got Haggerty wide, looking on the Seabay rule. Big cross. Kirsch fights through. And Kirsch is hacked down.
Frustration started to settle in a little bit here for Sueno. Norcott's had a couple clips of Minneapolis City attackers from behind. You'd have to believe that with this talking that he's having with the ref, this little conversation, that he might be on the wrong end of the next one.
John, there's been a whole lifetime that's happened in these first 42 minutes. But we've seen precious few cards, particularly given how physical it has been in the last, 5 or 10 minutes. Swallen asking Kirsch to let that one go. Kirsch finds Nick Kent instead. He chips it forward for Bechtel. Ortiz is going to be able to pick that up first. Sueno quickly out. Norcott doing a nice job using his body there up on Olsen, but then that's played out of bounds by Sueno. Swallen, lovely stuff. He's kicked, he stops. Referee lets play go. Then he's taken down again by McFeely. The referee angry at Swallen, who was kicked after the play by McFeely.
Yeah, the frustration's coming in for Sueno, like I mentioned. It's been a couple times now. I mean, I do believe that Swallen got a piece of him, and it is a foul on Swallen, but...
Perhaps the first one, the second one.
He didn't see the second one.
He hasn't seen a lot today, John. Delivery sent wide, headed in by Brown, right into the mixer. Wagner's able to get there first. Oh, my gosh.
Banks just gets absolutely uprooted.
I can feel that kick from Haggerty. And this is where, as the referee, had you caught any of the first ones, you start to change the game from getting to where it is right now. Obviously, you got a lot of passion, you got a lot of energy. Both of these teams need this. when the tone's not set, the player's going to set the tone for themselves within the bounds set.
How is that now their throw?
A lot of confusing calls here.
This is very confusing.
Head coach Justin Oliver expressing the same type of confusion that we've got up in the booth. Kinslow's going to come over with a long throw for...
And a quick reminder, folks, we're employed by the home team, if you haven't noticed.
I gotta be honest, I'm being fair on this one. This is crazy. Flicked on, and it's over. Sessler with the save! Hacked away by Harris. Bechtel's on his horse. He's got Meyer just in front of him. Holds it up, waiting. Finds Banks. Nice turn for Banks. Shot!
Oh, what a turn.
Lovely save from Ortiz as that went through traffic.
I mean, no disrespect to Banks. I thought he was going to give that first touch away, but what a great turn. Look at this. First, it's a great Sessler save.
Great stuff from Sessler. I love that ball out from Harris. Picks his head up, really quickly finds Bechtel, and then what a touch. We'll drag back. Oof. He deserved a goal from that. That was tasty.
Only a fifth one before half would have been real sweet down.
And no less deserved. These last 15 minutes have been all Minneapolis City. Wagner spins that in. We almost had an Olympico, but Ortiz has done a nice job shot stopping today. It'd be springy to punch that one over his crossbar. That's tough as a goalkeeper. It's hard as you're jumping backwards to see that angle.
Mm-hmm. And you would know.
I would.
I was usually the little guy on the near post.
Delivery from Kirsch.
Trying again,
but that one's over.
I mean, hey, if you're feeling it, I mean, why not? The fourth official has indicated a minimum, Dan, of 4 minutes.
Kinsley has turned backwards. He's going to find Ortiz. Bechtel giving him some pressure. Bechtel wins the ball off of Ortiz. He centers behind Banks. Banks turns. Shot saved by Ortiz.
Dude, how does he save that?
Lovely stuff from Ortiz. Quickly getting back into the center of the goal.
Crazy.
Bogard, nice ball to show Haggerty. Haggerty gets on his right. Gets past the Seabay rule. Nice stuff from Wagner to cut that one out. He had to. He had Neshi there. Wagner springs the attack.
Continue his run. Play him. Play him.
He's still going. Wagner's almost there. Brown has to get in front of him.
I mean, that's actually an extremely good foul by Harris, considering your center back went on a 60-yard marauding run. But that's Big Kurt. That's why we picked him for player of the game today.
That is Big Kurt. I mean, he jumped on that ball quickly with Neshi, who would have not only been in, but with a great angle to score, with Sessler having to scramble across his goal. That was nice work. Swollen in. Good tackle, but Bechtel's not going to be able to get there before Furs.
There's been, 3 big saves by Ortiz. I would say his distribution, though, like with the pressure, has been a little bit suspect for Sueno.
It has, and he almost gave up a goal there when Bechtel was able to charge him down.
Great hustle.
Morgan Olsen putting in a ton of defensive work in general, but especially for number 10. Bogart steps in front of Swollen, but that's going to fall to Sessler. And that's easy enough in the end for City. Swollen's done a nice job really kind of quarterbacking this game from that number 6 role.
Yeah, he's been playing really well today.
Got about a minute of added time to go here in the first half. As Sessler knocks that to his counterpart Ortiz. A quick reminder as the first half runs down, if Minneapolis City wins this game by 2 or more goals, they are the Heartland Division champions. Anything less, and their opponents, Chicago Sueno, are the Heartland Division champions. So there's a lot to play for and still a lot of time left as we see Neshi driving forward. He finds some space. Heck, good read. Olsen hacks it away. Oof. Brown over the top of Banks.
Not a foul, or not a card.
Well, Brown's already on a card.
I know. How's that not another yellow card?
We have had a yellow card to a player somehow in a game that's gotten increasingly physical, and one to a coach. I would have thought over the top two hands.
Man, I know it's hot out, Dan, but if you look at the two benches, the energy. Look at the Sueno bench. Not a lot of energy. A lot of heads down. A lot of hands on knees on the bench. Minneapolis City bench up into it.
John, this is where I think this is where the fans really play a big part. It's a Steve Rule, get on his horse. He cuts that in front of Brown, falls to first. Banks can't quite close him down, but he was there. John, as a player yourself, having played at an extremely high level, what was the impact of the fans when you're in a game like this?
I'll reserve that one for the second half, Dan. You can ask me again. That is halftime, folks. Minneapolis City 4, Sueno 1. Heartland Division Championship on the line. I'm John Bisworm. That's the Dan Hudeman. I'll tell Dan all about how I feel fans are involved when we come back from the break. Stay with us. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Bisworm. That is the Dan Hudeman. Edor Nelson Field here on the campus of Augsburg University. First half action, I mean, there was quite a bit of it as Minneapolis City leads at the half 4-1 over Sueno. Dan, we talked about on the onset, like match the other team's energy, pick and choose your times. In the 11th minute, Sueno gets on the board. Easton Bogard, number 7 for Sueno, scores. And then all of a sudden, everything started happening.
It was a different City team, John. And yeah, 4 goals in return was Shea Bechtel, really the man who was just on a tear. He had 2 goals in the 14th, a quick response in the 40th. Mizell Harris out on the wing, a goal himself, created one of Bechtel's. And can't forget Jackson Kirsch, goal scorer, doing a lot of the dirty work in midfield along with Jake Swallen and Morgan Olsen. After that first goal, after that kind of punch in the face, this was a different City team.
100%. I think what you saw was more combination play. First 15 minutes of the game, all Sueno, finding the windows, finding the pockets, getting the ball to feet, turning the front 3 of McFeely, Bogard, and Nessie, like really, really dangerous, specifically goal scorer Bogard. And then all of a sudden, Minneapolis City equalizes. The pressure comes. We talked about Ortiz making some incredible saves. It could be 7-1 right now without his efforts. How do we look at the second half for Sueno? And then I'll talk about what I think for Minneapolis City.
Well, just as a reminder for fans, if Minneapolis City wins this game by 2 goals or more, they're the Heartland Division champions. Anything less, and it's Sueno. So if you're Sueno looking at the scoreboard right now, you're thinking to yourself, that's okay. We can score goals. They scored 3 on the Crows before.
We talked about them being a second half team.
Second half team. If I'm them, though, I keep the ball.
And if I'm Minneapolis City and I'm Coach Oliver, I'm stressing a couple points, Dan. Number 1, 4 isn't good enough. Like, continue to hunt the goals. However, pick and choose your times. Like, don't just get crazy trying to pump goals in when we have to preserve a lead, even though it's 4-1. It can't become 4-2. It can't become 4-3. So tightening up the marks, picking and choosing when you're doing the little flicks in dangerous areas, and really just continuing to play smart soccer.
No, you're absolutely right. And as we look to the beginning of the second half, we've got 45 minutes plus a minimum of some undetermined amount.
Yeah, and an air quality break. We got that going.
To determine the winner of the Heartland Division. And that, of course, if you're at home, is going to have implications not just for silverware, but for the USL League 2 playoffs. So in the Midwest Division, which we're in, we're going to have 2 conference pods. One's going to be hosted by Des Moines Menace, the other by Flint City Bucks. We don't know, as we said at the beginning here, there are 16 playoff spots that are going to be determined here tonight. Both of these teams are going to be in the playoffs, but we won't know where we play until a little bit later tonight. But that type of determination of where we're going to play and who we're going to play is going to be an important outcome here.
Yep, absolutely. Good track back by a CB Rule.
CB Rule battling. Falls to Bogard. Bogard's been so good in tight spaces. He's going to try and pressure Nick Kent. Swan looking for someone. He finds Banks. Banks a nice touch away from trouble. CB Rule. Oh, Banks gets caught up. It's Neshi on the ball.
I know that wasn't a mistake of sorts, but
oh, unlucky.
Some unlucky play here for Minneapolis City. But those are the types of things we were talking about. Like, those can turn into really dangerous opportunities. And I know it's not their fault, but like that's just a game of soccer.
Absolutely, and we said it before. If you're listening in the first half on a narrower and a very quick pitch, that ball, if Bogart over the top of Swallen with an elbow, that ball can kind of sprint. We've seen it sprint in unexpected directions. So precision is really important.
Good win by Banks.
Nice flick on. That's only to Kinsella. Olsen using his body and Kirsch using his technique. Kent can't get it past Kinsella. But it falls to Olsen. A Seabay rule can't get by Kinsella. This both teams snapping into tackles. But City's done a nice job of maintaining possession here early.
That's what we're talking about right there.
Olsen gives that one up. Can Bogart get in front of Curtis Wagner? No, and Wagner calls in the goalkeeper, Daniel Sessler. That's easy enough in the end, but you're right, John.
Those have to be eliminated.
Give away from Kent. It's a nice win from Kinsella. Norkett to Chavez. Now Sueno on the attack.
Really good pressure. Really, really good.
Ortiz wide to Kinsella. Kinsella, nice little touch there. He finds Nessie. Nessie working on Kent. That was a really great intervention from Ms. Harris, but McFeely tracking back. He gets it to Haggerty.
This is exactly what we saw in the first half, Dan. Sueno coming out, really wanting it.
Cross into Bogart. Bogart with a nice touch, but a step in from Hecht. Hacked away by Harris, but only as far as Furs, and Sueno recycled back to Ortiz. Bogart chest down, but Swallen is there in front of Norkett. Nice little dummy from Banks, but well read by Andrew Brown from Sueno. Swallen continues to just be hard to get past in the City midfield there. Sometimes, John, those defensive midfielders don't get the love that they deserve. To me, he's just been vital.
Yeah, I mean, his first touch. Just how he reads plays, like right there.
So he just gets in front of Norkett. He's looking for Olsen. And that's number 14, Sam Hess. He was a substitute. We'll get to those in a second. He plays that through. Nice work from Hecht. Tracked back by Harris, and Sessler picks that up. Okay, let's get to the substitutions here in a minute. None for Minneapolis City, but we have number 14, Sam Hess, who has come on for Sueno. Sueno on the attack. That's Chavez. Swallen is there, and he's going to play that back to Sessler. Nice turn from a Seabay Rule. He plays that long, looking for Banks, but Brown, who's been excellent today, gets there first. Nice stuff from Norkett. Norkett's going to drive forward. Looking across. Wagner's able to get there in front of McFeely.
Oh, unlucky clearance there. That's the
He
one
gets
he
a bit of luck back after Haggerty misplays that a little bit. We've got Kirsch with his head up, looking for options. Wide for Olsen. Overcooks that a little bit.
Right idea.
Olsen's been all energy today, John.
Yeah. Well, he's moved centrally. We talked about Ian Shaw leaving for Notre Dame to go back to his preseason. But, I mean, moving from the out wide position in, but he's a natural center midfielder.
Norkett. Way to play out of pressure. It falls to Hess. Hess wide to Kinsella. Kinsella's got a little bit of space to drive into. Bogart battling with Heck. Doesn't get the better of him.
Good tracking
Banks
back
has
by
to
Banks.
pack wide in the end. So, John, it looks like we had number 10, Eliam Meyer, who's off for number 14, Sam Hess, at the half for Chicago Sueno. That was a shot by Michael Nessie, and it just went past Swallen and Hecht and wide, although apparently that's called for a corner kick.
Minneapolis City wants to give thanks to our sponsor, Bryant Lake Bowl and Theater, an uptown institution. Bryant Lake Bowl has plays, concerts, improv shows, and of course, banging food, booze, and bowling. All in a kick-ass environment dating back to the 1930s. Check out the menu and show schedule at BryantLakeBowl.com.
Sueno delivers, headed away by Sibe Rule, and then Bechtel's there. City knocked that back to Hess, but Sueno are able to reset.
Open.
Nice touch from Haggerty, who's able to turn and drive forward. Olsen with him. Haggerty retains the ball, and then he's able to knock that wide. Hecht steps in front of Bogard, but clears only as far as Chavez. City were on the up for a little bit there, but it's been all Sueno for the last 6 or 7 minutes, John.
Another substitution coming up, getting ready to come on for Sueno. Maybe not, putting his stuff back on.
It was a quick restart. Bogart gets the wrong side of Hecht, but he's only able to get as far as Nick Kent. Big tackle from Hess on Banks. This is going to fall to Neshi. He can only hit it into Hecht. Banks can't get past 2 Sueno players. A little bit of the worse for wear there. Nice ball.
That was a great ball.
Lovely ball looking for Michael Nesh. He's been all energy, but he heads over the crossbar. Swan on the ball. Sueno starting to press higher. Hecht is pushed deep. He's got to get out of trouble with Bogart on him. Gets as far as Chavez is puts that out for a City throw-in.
I think Minneapolis City needs to just take a collective deep breath and look at trying to get back to that combination play. But this is almost a carbon copy, Dan, of what we saw in the first half.
You're absolutely right. Direct doesn't help City. Actually, nice little flick on for Norcutt. He's pushed back. And Kinselaw's pushed back. Kinselaw doesn't have a lot of places to go with that ball. It's a nice little chip forward to Bogard. Bogard working on Hecht. Falls back to Kinselaw, but nice defense from Morgan Olsen tracking back.
No, he's in.
The referee flags him for offside. That him is Julian Banks as he's played in by Shea Bechtel.
Good step.
That ball's wide to McFeely. McFeely looking for the cross.
Good track back by Harris.
Harris had to track back. Number 2, Show Haggerty, was there for Sueno. What a dangerous ball. We've seen both sides having luck with those kind of attacks around the defensive line. And looks like, John, we're going to have a pair of substitutions for Minneapolis City.
It's like number 5, Otis Anderson, is going to replace number 14, Morgan Olsen, and number 9, Preston Kipnusu, going to replace number 42, Julian Banks. Dan, talk to me a little bit about Morgan Olsen and Julian Banks today.
I've been really impressed by both of them. Julian Banks doing a really great job in that role that we've typically seen Preston Kipnusu or Joe Highfield in, using his body, kind of being that target man. Great on the ball, deserved a goal. Morgan Olsen, all energy. All energy attacking, all energy on defense. It'll be interesting to see Otis Anderson, who's going to bring a little bit more size, a little bit more defensive focus. But Preston is more of a like-for-like replacement. Kipnusu having scored against Sueno when these two played in Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kipnusu's been, on the bench, not overworking, getting back the right way from an injury, and you have to believe he's probably hungry to get one.
I mean, in many ways, he's been just unplayable at the beginning of the season. But of course, you want to manage workload for players who are going back to their colleges. Hecht wins that one off of Haggerty, but gives it up for a throw-in.
I believe that was player to watch, number 20, Curtis Wagner, Dan.
I take it back. We're going to have Kinsella come over for a long throw opportunity.
So we just had a guy sitting there for like 10 minutes next to the fourth official.
The referee says that is a corner kick. Preston Kipnusu doesn't like the call. I got to be honest, I was looking at the potential substitute for Sueno, so
Minneapolis City would like to thank Shell's Brewing, home of the iconic Grain Belt Premium. Shell's has a German craft brew perfect for any season, available at bars, liquor stores, everywhere. Thank you, Shell's.
Delivery from Sueno. Nice stuff from Sessler over Bogart to claim that.
Kipnusu wanted the quick one.
But credit to Sueno getting in front of Sessler, though he was trying to get out quickly. Didn't really give that a clean opportunity. Here's Anderson on the ball to Sibe Rule. Sibe Rule driving, cuts in looking for Kipnusu. What a turn from Kipnusu. Has Cezanne, but Kipnusu.
Oh, boy. Oh,
He's going to claim that was a pass to Harris in the end.
I would, too. Minneapolis City is in good hands with our longtime sports medicine partner, Twin Cities Orthopedics, with orthopedic urgent care open 7 days a week and a wide range of specialty services. You can achieve your goal of returning to your best. Learn more at tcomn.com.
So, John, we did finally get that substitution from Sueno. It's number 16, Drew Parikh, who's coming in for number 11, Jack McFeely. Bogart, he's just been exceptional today up against Hecht. He finds Neshi. Neshi to Hess. Push backwards. Swollen. Lovely work to get in there, and Swollen wins a throw-in.
It's those little things that Swollen does. Like his defensive work rate and his production defensively is, I think it goes very underrated. Like he is so quick to cut off passing lanes and do things like win tackles in really, really dangerous spots.
I mean, he comes out of nowhere. He's like a mirage. But I think so much of that is he's just so smart. His positioning is always excellent. That took him 2 steps to close that down.
Yep. He reads the game so well.
And you can see the haze here on the video screen as those Canadian Wildfires continue to have an impact as we get into the 60th minute. A lot to play for still, John.
Yep, absolutely.
Has turns, he looks long. Hecht is going to let Sessler pick that one up. Bogart forced to do a little bit of running. Sessler pushing his team forward. Yeah, I'd knock this one long too.
That comes off the side of Sessler's boot. In the end, resulting in a City throw-in. Great win by Swollen. That looks like it's going to result in a yellow card for number 8, Charlie Norcud, in the 62nd minute. Swollen definitely feeling that one. CB Rule looking to drive to the end line. Beats his man. Looks to go far post. Finds Harris. Harris looking for Kipnusu, but Ortiz, really, really good work to come off of his line there to cover that near post. Clearance by Wagner. And a long ball looking for, I believe, Perrick, but ending in a Minneapolis City goal kick. I think we just had probably the best opportunity of the day for Minneapolis City, or in the second half for Minneapolis City, Dan. Again, coming off of Harris. But Ortiz, really, really good work.
Nice flick on from Bechtel, who's got ups for a short man. Kipnusu was looking for Harris. Good. Man, Haggerty did not help his goalkeeper Ortiz. He's got to hack away. But he has a nice touch there. Kinsella beats Anderson. Yeah, what an opportunity. John, we talked about the beginning of the, in the pregame about City taking those opportunities. They've got 4 on the board, but you need to keep a 2-goal margin. Oh, and that's headed in by Norkett. That was a really nice finish. Charlie Norkett with a goal. I shouldn't have said it. That makes it 4-2. That's Sueno's second here in the 64th. City can't give up another one. As it stands, the Crows are Heartland Division champions, but if Sueno score one more, it goes to the Chicago side.
Anderson got caught up a little bit high. But we saw the response that Minneapolis City had after the first Sueno goal. So do we see that happen again?
I think this is one where you can't get too confident sitting on a lead. Ball's played forward from Anderson to Kipnusu. Kipnusu's got Bechtel in the middle. That's knocked away by Kinsella. That's going to be a City throw-in. This certainly made things a little bit more edgy.
More interesting. But, I mean, honestly, Dan, this is like, I keep saying carbon copy. They score, we immediately attack in the first half, get a corner, score a goal.
This is where mentality is really going to be important as Kirsch stands over the corner. Delivers. Short that bounces around in the box, but it falls to Sueno.
Good touch by Harris.
There's a lovely touch.
Still bodies in there.
Swallen gives that one away. Sueno are going to attack. They're attacking through Michael Neshi. He's able to get inside of Swallen. Back to Norkett, the goal scorer. The second goal scorer.
I think things are a little bit disconnected here from Minneapolis City. I think shape-wise, they're getting kind of run out of it a little bit.
Yeah, as Chavez turns, he's inside of Otis Anderson there. That cross beats Curtis Wagner and beats the rest of the field. But John, tell me more about that, because they do seem a little bit discombobulated.
Well, I think the midfield three of Swallen, Kirsch, and now Anderson needs to kind of start to figure out who goes and who stays. Olsen kind of was the guy who was pushing more forward. I think they went a little bit more defensive, maybe potentially to protect the lead. But I think that they have to start to figure out who goes when, because we saw that goal. Otis Anderson was up high, and Northcutt ran right through, header in the back of the net. So I think that this is what we talked about. Like, when the lead comes, how do we counter it with being composed on the ball and protecting that?
Well, it's such a frustrating goal to give up from Minneapolis City. Did have 4 defenders around, but Northcutt, like you said, getting the right side of Anderson and then just finding space among them. And that's going to be that balance. Kipnusu, he finds Kirsch. Kirsch, lovely ball out to Harris. Harris is in the box. He cuts back on his right. Good block from Haggerty, and that's headed away. Anderson wins it to Kipnusu. Kipnusu on Brown, back to Esibe Rule. Esibe Rule, Kinsella gets in. Nice work, and he's able to keep that in as he wins that ball. Good defending. Bechtel tracks back. Lovely win. Hess asked for the call, and he gets it. I didn't see much anything. His shirt was pulled.
I saw it. Jackson Kirsch pulled his shirt, like, right before the tackle came. I'll be fair.
Hey, you should be a referee, not me.
I saw it.
And that's a yellow card for Jackson Kirsch here in the 68th minute. Referee didn't like his explanation for what happened.
I don't know. I think he had to have said something because I don't think that the shirt pull was warranted a yellow card. But
so we've got 22 minutes plus extra time. Sueno need a goal to win the Heartland Division. City need to leave it the way that it is or score another to win the division crown. Sueno on the attack. Chavez knocks it out wide. That cross is hacked down by Harris, and that's going to be a Sueno corner. Sueno much more lively this second half.
I mean, they had to be.
Looks like there's some action on the City bench. John, if you're Coach Oliver or Flintham, what are you thinking about the right moves here?
Energy, energy, energy.
Nice flick on there. Falls to Hecht. Sueno able to get in the box. That falls to Neshi. Neshi gets 2 bites at the apple, and they're going to win a corner off of Nick Kent.
Yeah, I think you have to bring on something that will change. Maybe tracking a guy down, replacing tired legs, getting stuck in on a tackle. Win by Hecht.
Hecht wins it, but that's another Sueno corner. That's their 3rd in a row. Parikh is going to take this one.
I mean, staying switched on that's a big thing here.
Parikh delivery goes deep. Kipnusu wins that one. And Kent undercut a little bit there by Furs, but it's going to be a City throw-in and a City substitution. So we're going to have a double substitution here in the 70th minute. We've got Elijah Fearing and Tomas Mena coming on.
It's like number 11, a CB Rule, and number 19, Ms. Harris.
Harris has been excellent today. We'll see which wing that they go on. They're both pretty interchangeable on the wings, Fearing and Mena. Looks like Mena's going to start here on the left as Fearing comes in on the right. Throws long to Kipnusu, flick on to Bechtel. Bechtel, 3 Sueno players around him, holds that ball up. And Mena gets his first touches on the ball. Hess stops him, and then Bogard wins the ball.
Kind of ran out of ideas a little bit there.
Yeah, maybe quicker to Kipnusu. Wagner with the interception finds Mena again. Bogard kicks him and the ball out of bounds. That's going to be a City throw-in. Bogard's been all action.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. And we go into the hydration break, or, sorry, air quality break.
You know, John, as I look at Sueno, I mean, I see a team with a ton of quality, ton of technical quality, and they're better when they keep the ball on the deck. They're better when they get those combinations. They're better when they get Norcutt, they get Bogard involved. It's when they start to go long that they give up their advantages.
And they were going long because of the City pressure. So you come out of the second half, City sits back a little bit deeper. Pressure, the lines of pressure aren't as high, and you can see starting to see what happens. They can find feet. They can find those pockets of space to turn on City, and then it goes from a long ball into maybe 2 guys to ball to feet, turn, and a 3-on-2.
I'd love to talk about Morgan Olson and his pressure in in that zone where the Sueno 6 would be. He was so energetic. He was so quick side to side. He didn't give him a lot of time on the ball.
Yeah.
Otis Anderson, a little bit of a different player.
A little more defensive-minded. We're going to sit a little bit deeper, like your traditional 6. But, I mean, still then, like, I think the inclusion of Fearing and Mena, it does what I thought. It brings energy. It brings legs that are totally fresh to track back. I'm sure there are instructions where you can get forward, but you need to think first about defending.
Elijah Fearing, one of the long line of players who joined City, teenager, just graduated from high school. He's going to be joining Preston Kipnusu, Jackson Kirsch on the field today, but also Cole Schrage, who's not playing today at Drake. So go Bulldogs as far as City goes. And, kind of love to see that young talent, that young energy.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, I wish we had this when I was in high school. Oh, Anderson. Oh.
Anderson smashes his volley wide, but that was tasty.
Oh, he had it too. It's one of those ones where you don't have to hit it hard.
But he did.
Yeah, he hit it real hard.
He's pushing his teammates forward.
The switch happened where Bechtel's going out wide and Mena's going up top.
Parikh working on Hex. Parikh
No. Get out of here.
looked like he may have been taken down by Fearing, and that's going to be a Sueno free kick in a dangerous spot. Kinsel will be on the ball. Nice cross in. He's flagged offside. Number 5, Daniel Furs, as he had that one off the crossbar. Little bit of a let off for City, though. I know Sessler, as any goalie would say, I had that covered without anyway. But that's on a knife edge right now. Sueno goal, and they win the Heartland Division. City need to keep it at a 2-goal margin or extend it. 15 minutes plus extra time to go. Sessler forced to go long. That high Sueno pressure. Kipnusu shoved down by Furs. Furs says he got an elbow in the face. The referee calls it despite having his entire body, including his eyes, facing the other direction.
Yeah, the fourth official saw something there, but
Perhaps. Perhaps. They don't have headsets, though, so hard to know. Kinsella gets wide. He's working on Fearing. Fearing pushes him back. Hess has a minute. Nice distribution of that ball wide. Parikh drives in to Bogard. We got Hess.
Oh, what a
save!
save.
Sessler! What a save, Daniel Sessler.
Anderson got caught again there. Or no, it wasn't Anderson. Sorry, Otis.
Sessler with a huge save, coming out quick. This game is on a knife edge. Parikh deep. Furs over the top of Kipnusu. Both are down in pain. They'll be up quick enough. Kipnusu wondering how he didn't get the foul. Perhaps he wasn't watching the first half. It's been a very, very loose game in terms of what you can do physically. Kinsella looking long. They're sending Parikh against Hecht. Hecht gets in front of him. Only as far as Neshi.
Good work.
Nice stuff from Fearing. Finds Kent. Kent goes long to Mena, but nice stuff from Brown to get in front of him.
That's just good soccer by
Norkett, nice
really good soccer.
Ball out to Haggerty. Haggerty's wide. He's got men in the middle. He's going to look to cross. Headed by Norkett. Heads wide. Well read by Sessler, who would have had it had it been closer, but that was close.
Whew.
John, you've got to say this second half has been really Sueno on the front foot. Yes, they need to be. But time is only ever so slowly ticking down if you're Minneapolis City. Kirsch finds Swollen. Swollen, that's $1 fine with a nutmeg. Kirsch finds Fearing out wide with the outside of his boot. Kirsch is going to take a minute working on Brown. Cuts inside. Tries to get past Kinsella. That's perhaps a little bit too much, and Neshi's able to come up with the ball. Sueno trying to attack, but Swollen's there. Very quick up to Kipnusu. Kipnusu turns fierce.
Oh,
what a save by Ortiz. Down so quick to his right.
Dude,
strong wrist. No
save.
jokes there. That was fantastic goalkeeping to be that quick.
Great save.
It was close to him, but it was hit hard. It was hit low. He had to get down very, very quick.
I mean, he doesn't get that hand down there. It's 5-2.
Kipnusu trying to get past Furs. All tangled up. He doesn't get the call that time. Arms were high. Brown looking to go diagonal. Bogart's on Wagner's back, but Wagner, nice job. Little header to himself. Does that pad his passing stats?
Yeah, it's passing percentage.
Now Mena's wide.
Kirsch is open.
He's working on Chavez. Mena shoots. Goes to Ortiz, who fumbles it, but
I mean,
he has enough time to be able to pick that one back up.
there were options, but I don't hate it. Good
Anderson hacks down Bogart. Bogart's going to start really quick. Neshi cuts inside Fearing. Gets past Fearing, shoots! Sessler, good save. Those ones coming quick off the turf. We saw Ortiz. Those can be tough for a goalkeeper. Sessler does a really nice job controlling that. Good hands. First steps in front of Kipnusu. Good defending.
Anderson's maybe got to bring that ball down.
Pace of the game has almost been passing Anderson by because this game has been played at a breakneck speed. Brown looking long again. Anderson only had Norcutt on him. Good defending from Otis Anderson to stay in front of Norcutt. Fearing trying to push back Kinsella, but he can't. Pushes him out of bounds, and that's going to be
I don't know. That ball was not out.
That was close. I didn't think it was out either, but we're up in the booth. They're right on the line.
80th minute, Minneapolis City 4, Sueno 2.
Let's give a little shout out to one of our sponsors. Minneapolis City's in good hands with our longtime sports medicine partner, Twin Cities Orthopedics. With orthopedic urgent care open 7 days a week and a wide range of specialty services, you can achieve your goal of returning to your best. Learn more at tcomn.com. And when we're talking about Twin Cities, guys, look your best with the only barber you should trust in Minneapolis. I go there, Twin Cities Barber Co., locally owned and operated in the heart of South Minneapolis. They offer quality services that will have you feeling your best. Treat yourself to a traditional barbershop with modern style and make an appointment today at tcbarberco.com. Kirsch looking for Anderson. Falls to Anderson.
No.
He's flagged for a push.
Ortiz is trying to go quickly.
And Ortiz does. In the 82nd minute, Minneapolis City 4, Sueno 2. If it stays as it is, the Crows are Heartland Division champions. If Sueno score one goal, they are Heartland Division champions.
9 minutes plus stoppage.
This is as close as it can be. Kinsella turned back by Fearing. Brown looking for Bogart. Kent gets there, but Bogart's able to win that ball back.
Man, Bogart's been impressive today.
He's been excellent. Bogart again on the ball. He's got Heck going down. Fancy feet. He finds Chavez. Chavez behind his attackers, but it falls to Norcut again. City at sea.
Nice block by Curtis Wagner.
Wagner blocks Parikh. Chavez keeps the ball. He's back in, headed away by Swollen. City able to win that ball after Kipnusu chests it down. Hess does a nice job on Bechtel and then smashes him down.
These are the ones that are going to start to hurt Sueno as the game ticks on. Like, that was an unnecessary need to foul there. Ball was probably already going out of bounds.
But, you know, those haven't been called all game against Sueno. You know, and I think that's where we kind of talked about, you know, the referees are going to set what's expected. I thought that was a definite foul. It's been loose. You need a goal. Go for it, you know?
Oh, Kipnusu just gets hammered by the goalkeeper.
And nothing, again, this is astonishing. This should be three penalties, if you're asking me. Kipnusu gets to the ball, the goalkeeper's nowhere near. Goalkeeper goes in his head, nothing. I mean, this is outrageous. This is outrageous stuff. We've tried to be fair to the referees. The league can find me. This is the worst center refereeing performance I've seen for years. This is astonishing. Now he's going to run over and he's going to give a yellow card to the City bench. Shocking. The goalkeeper is nowhere near the ball. Goes at the head of the City forward. Justin Oliver is going to get a yellow card. Come up here, give me a yellow card. I can't believe this.
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
It's better that way. Look at this.
He gets to the ball first.
I don't know about that.
Like, to respect to Ortiz, he was going for the ball.
There's no intent to that, but you follow forward in the box. That's a penalty.
Yeah.
Just astonishing stuff. Kipnusu heads that one high and wide on the throw from Mena. We've got 5 minutes plus extra time. Sueno need a goal.
You have to think probably about 4 minutes again. Maybe 3, because there were less goals in this half.
I mean, anything could happen. It was fewer than a minute a goal with no injuries the first half.
Good pressure by Kirsch. Just emptying the tank.
Kirsch running hard. Has the ball, but Kirsch is still there. Has forced to go long. Bogart with a nice flick on to Deepak. Sorry, to Drew Parikh. Chavez on the ball. He's turned back. He's got Nolan Kinsella wide. Alexa stays short. Bogart, that man again. And he's on the ball. Act away. By Bechtel. It's out wide to Brown. Nice step by Hess forward. He's able to get that ball, but Kirsch is there. Kinsella. Nice ball to Parikh. Parikh's been kind of across the forward line for Sueno there. He's been very energetic. Looks like we are going to see a Sueno substitution coming in. We're going to have number 17, Milan Shah. Coming out is going to be number 6, Andrew Chavez. Chavez, I think, has put in a good shift, John.
Yeah, I thought he did really well. First half, I thought he found more of the ball. Second half, I thought he was more of the decoy runner, doing a really good job of checking in and out of spaces to create more we'll call it workable room for Bogart.
Well, that's the type of stuff, sort of the unsung, the dirty work that really matters. Kipnusu Can only get it as far as Furs, who's out to Brown. Sueno again on the attack. Bogard gets the ball. Heck challenging. Neshi's turning on Wagner. He cuts in on his left. Looking for Norcutt, but Kirsch was there, but Norcutt off the post. Incredible.
Good job by Fearing.
Incredible stuff from Norcutt. Just that little outside of the boot. Hits the post. City very lucky. Has turns. Fearing's now got to challenge Norcutt. Norcutt out wide to Parikh.
Early ball in.
Handball! And that's called.
Oh boy.
Wow, this is just absolute scenes. And that's going to be a yellow card to Dhruv Parikh. John, I got to be honest, at this point in the game, you go for it. Nothing against that one.
Wait, red card. Yes?
And it looks like we're going to have.
Is it Norcutt? Norcutt.
No, that's Norcutt's. Was that his second yellow? I take it back on Parikh.
Things just got a lot more interesting in this game, seeing that now Sueno's down to 10 men.
You know,
I didn't see what happened.
He stuck his hand out just to flick it by
Oh,
Sessler.
so it was a.
It was an intentional handball.
Okay, got it.
That's what caused the goal.
And you know what? I'll say this. You know, being a employed by Minneapolis City, but being just like a neutral, just fan of the game, like I feel for Norcutt. Heat of the moment. He's been excellent today.
He has been so good today, not just from the goal, but just the way he's used the ball, calmness on the ball. I mean, I'd put Norcutt and Bogard, to me, as probably the real standout guys. Although this is a little bit crazy to talk about a team that's given up 4 goals. But their center back pairing, the Furs and Brown, they've been very strong too. They've had a lot to do. A little bit of soccer tennis going on. That falls to Shaw.
Handball.
Yep, and that is a handball on Neshi. But too far down the arm there. The last seconds of regular time are ticking off here, and we're going to have some level of injury time. We'll hear from the center referee, who should be communicating it any second now. The tension, you can feel it from the stands, John. First heads up, a little bit of collision of Bechtel and Kipnusu. And it falls to Bogard.
It's dangerous.
So dangerous. Swan can't get there. Hacked just in front of Parikh. That had to be. Kipnusu's flag for coming offside. I got to be honest, John.
I thought the defense.
Yeah, Fears took a touch. That resets for me. I'm a little disappointed on that.
Also, they're playing the ball way back there. I don't know what's going on here. Into stoppage time. Referee's indicating a minimum of 5.
Okay.
More than the first half with 4 goals.
5 goals.
5 goals.
And that ball is just flicked out of bounds by Daniel Furs. It's going to put City deep in their own half with a throw-in. Parikh very helpfully gives that to Curtis Wagner.
Curtis doing everything he could to pretend he didn't want to catch it.
And we've all been there on both sides of this one. Sueno able to retain control. Falls to Neshi. That was a lovely turn there by Shaw. Sueno on the attack. He crosses in. Mena's there. It's going to fall to Kipnusu, who's looking forward to Kirsch, but it only gets as far as Andrew Brown, who is out to Furs.
Just the work rate of Kirsch here in the last 10 minutes.
Sueno with 10 men, but they've got City pinned in.
He dribbled it square out of bounds.
He sure did, but wins he won the
job,
throw-in, but it
Tomas
ends
Mena.
up being a City goal kick in the end with Tomas Mena doing the hard work defensively.
Fans, be sure to make your plans this season, well, today, for post-game parties at the Corner Bar in Seven Corners. Friends of the Murder get deals on shells, pints, and pitchers. And don't forget to try the almost famous Joey Wings. Thank you, Corner Bar.
Well, we've got a Wednesday, July 23rd, Minnesota Super Cup semifinal. That's going to be here at Edor Nelson Field with Minneapolis City taking on crosstown rival St. Croix Legends. It's going to be a foul on Haggerty.
You have to believe City will take as much air out of this one as they possibly can.
So we've got one more home game. If there is a Minnesota Super Cup final, that's going to be played as usual at McAllister. The winner of City versus St. Croix, and then on the other side of the bracket, Duluth and Blackhawks. And then both of these teams we're watching today are going to be in the playoffs. We'll find out who and where they're going to go later tonight. City giving up the ball. Sueno with a good attack. Big Curtis Wagner's there. Sueno quickly restarting 10 yards before where that went out of bounds. I love it. This is the gamesmanship, and Anderson knocks it high. Brown's going to have to deal with it. Nice touch.
What a touch.
Wagner forced to head away. Bechtel keeps it in, but that's unfortunate. That falls to Haggerty. Hecht heads away. It's going to fall to Hess. Swollen is there, but Hess keeps it again. His shot.
Great save,
Right
Sessler.
to Sessler, who holds. We got a minute left.
Heartland division on the line.
Blood pressure is,
Yeah.
You can't even measure it right now.
I think my Apple Watch is going 911 right now. My heart rate's going through the roof.
Sessler sends it high. Fearing gets a touch on it, but it's only wide at Kinsella. Bogard working on Anderson. He gets past him. Bogard doing a nice job. He's in on his left. Shot wide from Kinsella. Inches wide.
Sissler had it covered.
That's what he'll say, and he may have, but whew.
30 seconds to go.
According to the clock, of course, the official has the actual time. Kipnusu, it's a nice turn. He's through. Shoots. Blocked by Sam Hess. Doing the hard work.
You have to believe this one's going short to Big Kipnusu to eat off the rest of this clock, as we are now past what the referee had indicated as stoppage.
So you're going to win this. And that's
There it is! And Minneapolis City, for the first time in the history of the USL2 era, are the
Heartland Division champions, John, with a 4-2 win over Sueno. That puts Minneapolis City in the silverware bracket. Gosh, it feels good after a few years of being not where you want to be.
Absolutely. Well, I'm John Bisworm. That's the Dan Hudeman. We're going to take a quick break, take a deep breath. We'll come back with our thoughts on this one and talk a little bit about the 2025 Heartland Division champions, your Minneapolis City Soccer Club. Stay with us. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I'm John Bisworm. That is the Dan Hudeman. The 2025 Heartland Division champion, Minneapolis City SC. 4-2 victory versus Sueno. And we'll get into the action here right now. Then Dan and I will talk a little bit more about it. 7th minute goal for Sueno to kick things off for the visitors by Easton Bogard. Then a 14th minute goal by Shea Bechtel. 16th minute goal by Misael Harris. A 39th minute goal off a corner kick for Jackson Kirsch. And a 40th minute goal for Shea Bechtel. Second half, not a lot of goal-scoring activity for the Crows. You might think, though, that Coach Oliver was thinking more about protecting that lead. Sueno did pick up a goal in the 64th minute. Number 8, Charlie Norkett, who ultimately was sent off on double yellow cards in the 88th minute. But, Dan, if you talk about how this one really unfolded and the end of it, like we were just saying off air, like the last 20 minutes of this game, even down a guy, like Sueno was all over Minneapolis City. All over City.
That said, the Crows, I think, did a nice job of staying organized, and we got to give a shout out to Daniel Sessler.
Yeah, we'll get into Sessler in a minute here, but let's talk a little bit about what this really means to our club. I mean, when we made when we made the jump from NPSL to USL2, there were some tough years there. Trying to figure out how to build rosters, how to bring in the right players.
The level of USL2 is so high.
The level is so high. There were some doubters that we made the wrong move. You insert a coaching staff of Justin Oliver, Tudor Flintham. Casey Holm comes over from a sporting director perspective, working with Matt Van Benschkoten. That collective hive mind brings in the roster here that we saw this season, creating tons of goal-scoring chances, winning games, however they will do on the road, at home. It really did change the tide this season.
Well, and playing so positively. And I think that's the thing, if you look at Justin Oliver, who played with City for years, as a forward, as an attacking winger, he plays on the front foot. If you look at Tudor, who like Justin Oliver, coaches in the MIAC with really attractive attacking teams. Of course, they play that type of game. But if you asked me at the beginning of the season, did I think it'd end up with a division title? I'm not sure. This is a good division, John. This is a big win.
It is a big win, and I think to answer your question, did I think about this in the beginning of the year? I thought this is the next positive step coming out of the Carl Craig era into what might be this night 2 years from now. Being competitive in the division first, then hunting for titles. But fast forward 365 days from when the staff was put together. Incredible recruiting job. Let's talk, Dan, about men of the match. I don't think there's one man of the match. I think, you mentioned him before, Daniel Sessler, a number of massive saves, keeping the Crows in this game with that score line that they needed. Player to watch, Curtis Wagner. Typically, Dan, we get the player to watch who kind of gets the curse of the commentator, but Curtis Wagner came to play today. And then,
sure did.
From a goal-scoring perspective in the attack, Shea Bechtel just continues his red-hot pace.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right for any of those. And the great thing, when you have a win like this, is you could name a number of players. But Ms. Harris was exceptional. I thought Jake Swallen, none of this would have happened without him protecting the back four.
Julian Banks.
Heck, we talked about how Easton Bogard from Sueno was so good, and Jared Heck marshalling him all game. I mean, it was a total team win. We'll end up choosing a man of the match eventually, but this was everybody doing the work they needed to do.
Absolutely. I'm not even going to pretend I know when we play next, and right now I really don't care.
Well, I know when we play next, John. Can I tell you?
Go ahead.
All right. So the USL League 2 playoffs start on Friday, July 18th. City will either be in Des Moines at Valley Stadium, the home of Des Moines Menace, which is what I would probably expect, or they'll be in Flint, Michigan, the home of Flint City Bucks. Both were chosen with their bids as the hosts of the USL League 2 playoffs. Watch the internet, watch USL 2, watch Minneapolis City. We'll on our channels, we'll let you know. But then after the playoffs, of course, we still have the Minnesota Super Cup. So we've got one last home game, July 23rd. That's Wednesday, July 23rd against St. Croix. Winner goes to the Super Cup final.
All right, well, once again, I'm John Bisworm. That is the Dan Hudeman. Hi, Mom and Dad. You're watching it at home. 2025 USL2 Heartland Division champions, Minneapolis City Soccer Club. I'm John Bisworm. That's Dan Hudeman. 2 founders, 1 booth. Go Crows.